A massive rainstorm suddenly hit without warning. Everyone was trapped inside their own homes. No matter how hard the man tried, every door and window in the house seemed completely sealed shut. Furious, the man grabbed a metal bar, then smashed it straight into the window. But the next second, something terrifying happened. The glass he had just cracked started repairing itself as the rain poured over it. Even worse, the world outside had turned into a deadly place, and unknown creatures were roaming through the rain. But all of this strange chaos had started earlier that morning. At first, Jason thought only his family was trapped, until he saw a neighbor using a mirror to send signals with reflected light. Only then did he realize the entire neighborhood was facing the same problem. While Jason tried to figure out what to do, their neighbor Susan returned from her morning run and found her own family trapped inside the house. Susan immediately turned around and headed for the police station. Seeing that someone could still move around outside, Jason's family instantly felt hope again. The trapped neighbors began writing messages on mirrors to communicate. Some believed the military was testing a new weapon. Others thought aliens had attacked Earth. Even though no immediate threat had appeared yet, Jason still loaded his handgun just in case. But even after night fell, Susan still hadn't returned from getting help. Growing more anxious, Jason grabbed a power drill and aimed it at the door. But several drill bits snapped one after another, and the solid door still didn't budge. Even stranger, the tiny holes from the drill were being repaired by the rain. Jason finally lost his patience and swung a sledgehammer into the wall. But the rain around the house seemed to form an unbreakable barrier, completely sealing the entire house off from the outside world. Jason immediately realized there was no way normal human technology could do this. Early the next morning, the couple rushed downstairs, hoping something had changed overnight. But every door and window was still sealed shut, which meant they could be trapped there for a very long time. Luckily, Jason had watched plenty of survival shows before, so he immediately counted every bit of food left in the house. For now, the water and electricity were still working. Jason decided to store as much drinking water as possible while he still could. Based on his calculations, if they strictly rationed their daily food, their supplies could last the whole family about 2 months. A week quickly passed, and the doors and windows still hadn't changed at all. His wife Ellie even started saving tomato seeds from their food, planning to grow vegetables in case they were trapped long-term. But the other families in the neighborhood weren't so lucky. The Max family across the street was already running out of food. Even if Jason wanted to share his supplies, the sealed house made it completely impossible, and the endless rain outside showed no sign of slowing down. At least the family still had each other, which made the endless days a little easier to survive. One day, Ruth stood by the window watching outside, when she suddenly saw a shadowy figure move through the rain. Over the next month, Ruth noticed the figure always appeared whenever the storm got worse. Even more disturbing, Ruth seemed to be the only one in the house who could see it, as their stored food kept running lower. Ellie had already planted their first batch of vegetables inside, but they were still nowhere close to being ready to eat. Late one night, the couple finally got some rare time alone. They were just starting to relax, when a strange noise suddenly came from outside.
Oh, she's beautiful. Oh, big girl.
Jason then realized the city outside seemed to have completely fallen out of human control. Even wild wolves were now roaming through a modern neighborhood. Before long, Christmas arrived. Their oldest son Gray took the first tomato grown inside the house and gave it to his mother as a Christmas gift. Just as Ellie was thinking about how fast time had passed, Ruth suddenly stared across the street in horror. Something was clearly wrong with the Max family. After going so long without enough food, the elderly couple could barely hold on anymore. That night, another violent storm exploded outside. Ruth could barely hear a woman's voice coming through the rain.
There's a person outside. What's wrong? What's wrong?
Ellie quickly recognized the terrified woman outside. It was Susan, the neighbor who had gone out for help when the disaster began. Ellie immediately pressed closer to the window, trying to hear exactly what Susan was warning them about. But at that exact moment, Jason suddenly rushed over and pulled the curtains shut. Jason's reaction made everyone even more nervous. Was there really some kind of monster hiding in the rain? And was Ruth the only one in the family who had seen what it really looked like? The family spent even more days living in constant fear, until one day, a loud crash suddenly came from the chimney. They checked and discovered the cap on top of the chimney had fallen off. Ruth immediately had an idea. Maybe they could escape the house through the chimney. But Jason knew the chimney was extremely narrow. There was no way an adult could fit through it.
How does Santa get them? Guys, I'm kidding. Let me try going up. I'm the lightest, so you can hoist me with my silks.
To find out whether the chimney really opened to the outside, Jason and Gray built a simple pulley system. Then they twisted bed sheets into a strong rope and prepared to send Ruth, the smallest one, into the chimney.
Careful! Slow down. My hand's outside the house! My hand's outside the house!
Not long after, Ruth safely made it back inside. The family still had no idea whether the outside world was safe, but at least they had finally found a way out of the house. Ever since they realized unknown creatures moved around outside during the rain, Jason immediately shut every curtain whenever the storm began. But this time, Ruth suddenly noticed something. A pot of tomatoes had been left sitting beside the window. No one knew what was really hiding behind the wall of rain. And as their food slowly disappeared, the home that once felt like the safest place in the world was slowly turning into a prison they might never escape.